Mobile water, unique in every way.
30 years of joyfulness. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and myjoyonline.com. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via various affiliates, live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, MP for Old Tafo sues Attorney General, accusing the President of alleged constitutional breach in the processes towards the removal of the Chief Justice. We have details of that coming up shortly. Also, my government and the NDC hold no animosity towards the judiciary. Words of President Mahama as he instructs state investigative bodies to actively pursue unresolved high-profile cases such as the murder of Ahmed Swale. And also, lawyers for the NDC candidate in the controversial Akwatia parliamentary election accuses the troubled member of parliament of perjury as they initiate processes at the CID headquarters to prosecute the already convicted MP.
At the end of the day, issues of perjury, regardless of what happens here, issues of perjury, because if you submit a document to court, which document is not original, it's I will restrain myself. It's not original. You have the honor to prove in a criminal trial how you came by that document. It has.
Well, we have details of that coming up shortly in sports.
Black Stars forward Antoine Semenyo urges teammates to help put Ghana back on the world stage.
On the very day Parliament abolished the e-levy, betting tax and other nuisance levies, the Interior and Sanitation Ministers have called for the introduction of new taxes to support their respective ministries.
We are even expecting some more reduction on the fuel, which will also put us in a better position. But adding some 10% or more on the fuel, I don't think any professional driver will welcome that. So we played for a second thought.
But even before any serious discussions begin, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has strongly opposed new tax proposals, warning that they could burden businesses and ordinary Ghanaians. Also, we'll tell you the story of a young midwife who is currently battling brain cancer 2 years after fighting breast cancer.
I'm bloated. I had sores on my body that I have to treat. A lot of things were just coming in. My vision too is disturbed. I forget things easily.
We'll bring you details of that and more with me, Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay. Member of Parliament for Old Tafo in the Ashanti region, Vincent Eko Asefwa, has filed a suit against the Attorney General, accusing President John Mahama of violating the Constitution in the process of referring petitions to remove the Chief Justice from office. In a writ dated March 27, 2025, the MP argues that the President breached Article 146 by forwarding the petition to the Council of State without first notifying the Chief Justice or giving her an opportunity to respond. He argues that this move undermines the Chief Justice's security of tenure, making the process unconstitutional. Shortly, we'll speak to the former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuanyeboa on the propriety of this challenge. But first, though, here's my colleague James Avaji with details of the suit. James, what are the reliefs he is seeking?
Mami, the plaintiff is asking the court for 4 key reliefs. One, that a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 146 clauses 1, 2, 4, 6 and 7, Articles 23 and 57, Clause 3 and Article 296 of the Constitution, the President is mandated to notify the Chief Justice about a petition for the removal of the Chief Justice and obtain his or her comment and response before referring the petition to the Council of State or commencing a consultation process with the Council of State to remove the CJ. And in this case, what it means is John Mahama should have sought the opinion of Justice Gertrude Tokonu about the petition of removing her before referring same to the Council of State. It goes on that too, upon a declaration that upon true interpretation of the stated clauses, that the failure by the President to notify the Chief Justice and obtain his or her comment and response on that petition constitute it's as well as a constitutional protection of the security, violate Article 146, as well as the constitutional protection of the security of tenure of the Chief Justice, who is a Justice of the Superior Court of Adjudicature, as stipulated in the provision they stated, and that the failure of the President to do that also constitutes a violation of the her personal right to be heard, which they state. And lastly, that the removal of the processes that the President has triggered now should be declared by the court as null, void, and of no effect, and other reliefs that the court may deem necessary.
Right.
In the case, and this has been signed by Godfred Dami, who is counsel to the plaintiff.
Thank you so much, James. We're still trying to establish contact with the former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuanyaba for more on this, to give us some clarity on this writ. But when we do so, we'll definitely get him on the line for that. Well, let's move on. President John Mahama has dismissed perceptions that the NDC and his government hold animosity towards the judiciary, emphasizing that this administration, or his administration, respects the judicial system. Speaking after a visit from the Ghana Bar Association, he said he is committed to working hand in hand with the judiciary. The president this week forwarded 3 petitions seeking the removal, as we've already notified, of the Chief Justice to the Council of State.
We also have the issue I thought I should raise of the judiciary and the perception of the judiciary. I believe that it is not anecdotal. Several surveys asking Ghanaians, what their opinion of the judiciary is have not come out positively, and I believe that it is a duty for all of us to work to make sure that we have a government is open to working with you, particularly on our side of the political divide. There's this perception that we have a problem with the legal fraternity and things like that. I think that if you look at the kind of people, Marietta and all of us sitting here, we're not people who have any such animosity towards the judiciary and the legal fraternity. So our doors are open, our hands are open, and if you think that there's anything that you should bring to our attention, don't hesitate at all.
President John Mahama also says he's instructed state investigative bodies to actively pursue unresolved high-profile cases such as the murder of Ahmed Swale and the killing of J.B. Dankwaidu in order to bring closure. He said these renewed efforts led to the arrest of a suspect in connection with Ahmed Swale's murder, stressing that his administration is committed to protecting human rights.
We're committed to the protection of human rights and investigation of significant killings, murders that have remained uninvestigated. And so I've urged the police and the investigative organizations to look more actively in cases like Ahmed Swale, and that is how come a first suspect has been arrested. We're hoping that his interrogation will lead to further arrests of people. There are several other cases like the J.B. Dankwa murder case. We're asking that it be expedited in terms of the prosecution that is taking place, and for investigations to be carried out to find out if any other persons were involved in some of those. Those are ongoing.
You heard the President John Mahama. We still while longer on legal issues as lead counsel for the first interested party in the Equatorial Parliamentary election case is accusing the convicted Member of Parliament of perjury by filing fake Gazette notification at the court. The lawyer says they've already initiated processes at the police CID to prosecute the convicted Akwatia MP Ernest Kumi. Bernard Bediako-Bedu, in an interview with my colleague Latif Idris at the Supreme Court, said regardless of the outcome of the Apex Court hearing the injunction or and contempt applications, the MP and his lawyers would have to explain the inconsistencies in numbers on the Gazette notification they filed as against the numbers on the EC's own Gazette notification. Listen.
They never touched on it. So what that means is that at the end of the day, issues of perjury, regardless of what happens here, issues of perjury, because if you submit a document to court, which document is not original, I will restrain myself, it's not original. You have the honor to prove in a criminal trial how you came by that document. It has nothing to do with the determination of the matter. But we intend, and we have already processed the case. It is with the CID, Police Headquarters. And that is not contingent on the determination of this matter. At the end of the day, we respectfully hold the view that the applicant has submitted documents to this court, which throughout the trial, you could see that he couldn't even defend the very document he had submitted. Obviously, there are two documents in terms of with regards to the Gazette. We have defended ours. They haven't. Where they got their Gazette, copies of their Gazette that they found, it is our expectation that in the coming days, the law enforcement.
Well, we move away from legal issues now. Government may have scrapped the controversial e-levy, betting and emission taxes, but it appears new taxes are on the horizon. Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, has hinted at plans to introduce a sanitation fund levy to tackle Ghana's worsening sanitation crisis. Listen.
I have just assumed responsibility, and sanitation has just been brought under us. Establishment of sanitation authority and a sanitation levy, sanitation fund will call for a sanitation levy. Well, when you are creating a fund, it means you are instituting a tax. It has to be taken from somewhere to come and establish the fund, and it is long overdue. So it is something when Parliament reconvenes after this adjournment, as a ministry will visit it and it will be done. As a country, we seem to be joking with funding, searching for solutions. You have big powers heading some corporate institutions where they even send the corporate social responsibility to their hometown and not even the local people who are even suffering from the consequences of their activities. And if you look at the haphazard way of locating unplanned community water services and other things, it's a problem. And that's why I'm of the view that we should create a pool. US aid may not be able to do much. World Vision may not be able to do much, but they started very well with us. The sustainability should be our core responsibility. We must be thinking of how to sustain their activities after they are no more.
But the sanitation levy is not the only new tax proposal causing a stir. Interim Minister and MP for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, has also revealed plans for a dedicated levy on fuel purchases to equip and enhance the Ghana National Fire Service. This follows criticism over the government's handling of disaster management after the recent fire outbreak at Edum in Kumasi.
And now all of us need to also make a contribution. And the way to make the contribution, in my view, I'm doing a paper to cabinet that look, the fuel that we buy, let's dedicate just 10 pesos per liter just for fire. Because as we speak, when I went to the Ministry of Interior, I realized that the newest tender that we have was procured in 2014. That's more than 10 years. So sometimes the frustration, they go through so much frustration themselves. So one of the things that I think, if we can do even 5 pesos on a liter, what it means is that we'll have a dedicated fund to support fire.
Well, even before its formal introduction, concerns are mounting over whether these levies will genuinely address the country's sanitation and disaster management challenges or simply add to the tax burden of struggling citizens. Here's the Industrial Relations Officer for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Imoro.
We are even expecting some more reduction on the fuel, which will also put us in a better position. But adding some 10 pesos or more on the fuel, I don't think any professional driver will welcome that. So we prayed for a second thought.
Well, we head to our first story. We told you about the suit against the president. We understand that former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah is being interviewed on Joy News on TV. We go there now and listen to him.
Remains uninvestigated.
Unfortunately, we do not have him. We'll get him whilst we can. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And we move on. Head of Planning Department at KNUST, Professor Clifford Amwako, says budget cuts may stall Ashanti region's infrastructure development in 2025. According to him, budget allocation for infrastructure declined from 7.3 billion cedis in 2024 to 6.1 billion cedis in 2025. But the government has promised to complete stalled infrastructure projects in the region. Nana Yaljima has more on the following report.
Major infrastructure projects of high interest in the Ashanti region include Swami Interchange Project and Phase 2 of the Kejetia Redevelopment Project. Residents are anticipating a completion of these projects to boost economic opportunities in the region. But Head of Planning Department at KNUST, Professor Clifford Amwako, wants expectations to be limited on the fulfillment of infrastructure projects.
We are having a cut of about 16.8%. It isn't clearly explained in the budget, as I said it. Probably could be that resources are not available or something might have happened, but it's not clearly explained. That means that some infrastructure projects might not be continued, or even if they are continued, they may delay.
The 2025 budget allocated 13.8 billion cedis to the Big Push, a campaign policy aimed at improving infrastructure in the country. Professor Amwako says a policy statement will be needed.
The write-up in the budget on the Big Push wasn't too clear as to where exactly the Big Push is going in terms of infrastructure, in terms of how it is distributed. There isn't any policy document that seems to support it. It is not referenced to any proposals.
Former board chairman of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Ernest Kwakon, believes the budget allocation is inadequate considering the health needs of the Ashanti region.
The continuing health infrastructure project may need more funding than what probably has been allocated. If you look at it countrywide. Today I spoke only about Asante Mine, but remember that there are other replicas of needed infrastructure across the rest of the country.
For Joy News, Nana Yaljima, Kumasi.
And back here in Accra, we now go on the phone lines and speak to Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah on the particular issue about the suit against the president. We're grateful for your time, sir, on the Midday News. It is fact that merely forwarding petitions to the Council of State does not constitute a determination of whether there's a prima facie case. Don't you agree?
Thank you very much. I think let me make this correction. I'm a former Deputy Attorney General, so that my friend Dr. Sreb does not say I've taken up over his position. So when it comes to the determination of a prima facie case under Article 146(3) of the Constitution, the President is supposed to do so in consultation with the Council of State if the person seeking to be removed is a Chief Justice. And in so doing, the President will have to consult the Council of State, look at what they've received, and then come out with a determination of the matter. But I think when you look at the specific case that we are talking about this issue, the honorable member's suit, his argument is that before the prima facie case is determined, the subject of that determination, that is the Chief Justice, will have to be notified and her responses elicited before the Council of State can make a determination whether it's a prima facie case or not. And I think that's the essence of the suit that he has filed.
But forwarding petitions to the Council of State is sanctioned by the decision of the Supreme Court. Do you not agree?
I agree. That is the procedure. But now the issue is whether the Council of State, together with the President, can make a determination of a prima facie case without first notifying the subject of that determination.
But you're also aware that, when a petition is taken to the president, it could be badly drafted that it can even be disposed without requiring a comment from the Chief Justice. Letters can come to you. You may have to go through the letter. Before you go to whoever you have to speak to get their responses to it. Don't you agree?
You may have instances where you may receive letters and you may not want to respond to it. But when it comes to petitions, with all due respect, the president who receives a petition is, as some people will put it, it's a conveyor belt. The president, by the constitution that we have, will have to take the next step upon receipt of such a petition. But the argument is that before he takes the next step of making a determination when it comes to Chief Justice, the Chief Justice will have to be notified and her responses elicited. That's the crux of the suits filed by the Honourable Member of Parliament as we have it now.
So,
but in terms of the reference to the Court of Appeal, he's going through that constitutional process.
So are you telling us that there's been a prima facie case already constituted?
No, we have not been told. We have not been notified. Yesterday, the release that came was to the fact that the Council of State was in consultation with the President, and then they were in the process of making a determination. So now there haven't been any determination yet.
What is your understanding of the issue that has been given to the President? Do you know what's contained in that petition? What is being stated against the Chief Justice that needs her to speak to the matter?
I do not know. The gentleman who has issued the writ, the plaintiff, he may have his own information, but I do not know. But speaking to what he has filed in court and his argument, it matters not whether what they filed, what the president has is something that's immaterial or frivolous. The argument is that before you make that determination, that person will have to be notified.
Well, since you do not know the state or the current situation in the petition, are you not running ahead of yourself?
Actually, it's not about running ahead of myself because I'm not the plaintiff. Let me put that one in context. I'm not the plaintiff in the matter.
But you represent,
as a lawyer.
Yes, you represent the plaintiff, and I assume that you have to, abbrace yourself with what's in the petition to know how to advise your client.
No, I don't know whether you've looked at the writ. The plaintiff has a named lawyer on the writ. Mm-hmm. A named lawyer on the writ. Yes. And on the writ, my name is not there. So I'm speaking as a lawyer who has been called to share his opinion on the matter.
All right.
If I were named or if I happen to be the person who issued the writ, definitely I wouldn't even grant the interview because that would mean that I'm just going against the ethics of my profession as a lawyer.
All right. Okay, but since you agree that a petition can be disposed in certain situations without a comment from the CJ, it is reasonable for the President to show it to the Council of State before comments of the CJ can be sought.
I have not considered that the President can dismiss the petition without notifying the CJ. What I'm seeking to say is that if you look at the writ filed by the plaintiff, his argument is that before a prima facie determination is made, the CJ will have to notify first for her comment. And so that's the crux of his case. And now as we have it, we don't have the information whether the CJ has been notified or has not been notified. This suit will bring all these things out.
Okay, well, the article says 146 articles clause 6 says that where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisted of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman of the President, 3 others who are not members of the Council of State, nor the members of Parliament, nor lawyers. You understand that? It doesn't say that the Chief Justice should be called in there and then.
That provision has been interpreted by the Supreme Court in the Ajay matter. If you will recall, in 2006 or 7, the late former Chief Justice, Justice Akwa, there was a petition for his removal during the tenure of President Kufuor. And when the petition was submitted to the presidency, and the President sought to constitute the committee, there was a legal challenge at the Supreme Court by Ajay, arguing that the President could not go ahead and implement what he had intended to do under Article 146 that you just read, because the CJ is first and foremost a Supreme Court judge. And with respect to all Supreme Court judges, before they set up the committee, there must be a prima facie determination. And so the Supreme Court in the Judiciary case said the President cannot go ahead and then set up the committee straightforward in consultation with the Council of State. But the President must first and foremost consult the Council of State for a prima facie determination to be made. So what I'm telling you now, you don't find it in the Constitution, but the judgment in the Judiciary case has given that direction.
But I assume the President would definitely give the Chief Justice an opportunity to speak for himself. But just before you go, very, very briefly, who will empanel the judges to hear this particular case you're bringing against the President? And would it not be a conflict of interest if the Chief Justice does so?
Not at all. But it's been decided and it's settled law that a Chief Justice cannot be stopped from performing her constitutional duty when it comes to matters like this. If you take Kwashiadan and the Attorney General, if you take the Ajaychum one, Jasakwa was the Chief Justice, the suit was brought against the Attorney General. He empowered the court. So that one we've long passed there. So far as the Chief Justice, when it comes to empaneling that court, it is a constitutional duty and she will have to carry it out.
Right, all right. Thank you so much. And you heard there Alfred Chianyaba, former Deputy Attorney General in the Akufo-Addo administration. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a quick break. We'll return with sports.
Where did I? Now I don't know many just are. Obiang, what's the chrome ha? Ain't you want to say petrol sulfur energizing drinks for motion? Hey boy.
Petrosol are celebrating their 10 years in grand style. They're giving back to their loyal customers. Hope you have registered at their online portal. Don't say I didn't tell you, oh.
Each month, customers will stand a chance of winning items like tricycles, motorcycles, television sets, refrigerators, phones, fuel vouchers, and many more. But the best part is that at the end of the promo, we will be giving out a grand prize of 2 Suzuki Espresso cars to lucky winners who stay with us all through the promo period. All you need to join is to visit any of our over 100 stations across the country to get registered, or go to www.petrosolcrm.com to register online.
Petrosol, energizing dreams.
Hey, stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it say be him at na wache. Ni hia net na wache. No bia baby se wasem demuni ni na say. Di ni him say. Fe kwaye yesim biara so siesie wontare. Use stay soft ani hia net na wache. Na ni bo so da from cra. E fabric softener. E ni sensa. Choose stay soft. Ne hu so say no. FDID edwadin krato yatu. When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I go bed safe. It make my teeth white when it comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I they show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the Midday News, and we'll take you to Parliament, where sitting is about ending today. Quick question, what's the major things happening in the House?
Well, after sitting till 12 midnight yesterday, the House is back in session. They are considering the various estimates of ministries, departments, and agencies. Just gone by, the local government has gotten about 4 billion approved for its services up until the year end 2025. And ongoing now is the consideration of the estimates for the Ministry of Agric, a little over 2 billion Ghana cedis. They will consider the various MDAs. Yesterday, they dealt with the financial laws, the financial regulations, and they will deal with the MDAs up until tomorrow when the House will go on break.
Thank you very much. And in our Ghana Man series today, we trace the origin of a word many Ghanaians often use, abrotre, at Fort Presenstein in Keta, one of Ghana's last slave trade centers. Koji Yankson learns how the word was born from pain and betrayal.
Fort Prinsenstein, or what is left of it, receives daily visitors from around the world. But there is something unique about the role this particular fort played in Ghana's sordid slavery story. Therefore, our colleague knows all about it.
So when they buy the slaves were taken across the Atlantic, and those slaves never come back. And our people start calling those from outside, they are from Abluchi, meaning Oblo, Ovachi, meaning they have deceived them by taking them there without coming back. Because Ovachi.
And that's where the Abluchi came from.
Yeah.
You see, that actually makes more sense than the explanation that we, the Akans, have for the word Abluchi, where you hear people say Abronechi or whatever. This makes more sense. Oblo, Ovachi. So you deceived us. And they will never return.
Exactly.
So we now know the origins of abrotre, and that's how we end the midday bulletin here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Up next is a Living Word with Pastor